frustrated with picking up money. Go ahead.
Damn. Well, you know, we can't continue without giving a shout out and a rest in peace to a legend in the Miami bass game. And not only that, they originated out here on the West Coast. A lot of people think that they originated in Miami, but they're from the West Coast. R.I.P. to Brother Marquis of 2 Live Crew. Lost at 58 years old, man. Such a young age, dude. You're past 58. I'll be there in about 10 years. Talk to us about not necessarily Brother Marquis, but talk to us about 2 Live Crew, because I know you guys crossed paths, you know, with Michel'le and things like that back in the day. What do you remember about them?
When 2 Live Crew was in San Bernardino, they had a record called MFSB, and it stood for motherfucking son of a bitch. And Don was freaking out. Don McMillan, who ran Michel'le Records, was freaking out. They got a record called Motherfucking Son of a Bitch. Then they flipped it up to Mother, Father, Sister, Brother. Okay. And he was so relieved. And then they only did, I think they only did maybe 1 or 2 records at Michel'le. And then they went on this on their super X-rated vibe. And it was gone after that. I didn't see him no more. I may have bumped into him a couple times on the road, but by that time, they had so much security around, we couldn't get to him. But yeah, that was real shit. They came out of San Bernardino. I don't even think Luke was with them then. It was just the 3 of the guys. Luke wasn't there yet.
No. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
What do you remember about the time when they were going through all of the censorship? Because they were one of the groups that paved the way for what we can say today, along with people like N.W.A. and things like that. But they were getting arrested at their shows. People were getting arrested for selling their tapes in their stores. What do you remember about that specific time?
You know what? That was a time, it was a much different time in America. It was a much different time in the record industry. And at that time, you could get arrested for playing an X-rated record in front of a minor. You can get arrested for that shit. They had what they call, and I spoke about it before on the show a couple times before, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Okay, I got rolled up for it a couple times. I mean, I got sweated for it. Never had a real issue behind it, but I got sweated by a cop a couple times behind that shit. And that was a very real situation because you could not just do anything in and around kids and not going for it. And back then, records like that was bought behind the curtain, behind the counter, or you'd ask for it. You might have to show ID to get it. And they had just the same. They treated them just like pornos back in the day. Pornos and party records. That's what they called them, blue records. Were always in a special part of the store that was monitored by the store manager or the store owner to make sure kids didn't have access to it. And that's something I grew up on. So the shit I'm seeing nowadays, a whole bunch of folks should be getting arrested based on that theory. But at some point in time, people stopped giving a damn.
Yeah, they were definitely legends in the censorship game. Before we move on, we got about 3 or 4 minutes till we bring on the narrator, RBX, legend. I can't wait to talk to this gentleman. But I want to talk about Eazy Street because that was brought up as well in the interview that we did yesterday. We brought it up briefly, but not one fight, Lonzo, not one skirmish. There were gangs from different sets, Asian, black, white, everything in between. Not one, disagreement. If there was, they hit it very well. What do you think? Do you think all the sets had some sort of agreement, or do you think Eazy just had that much love in the streets?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think more so he had a lot of love in the streets. Eazy, although he was from Kelly Park, he didn't really hate on nobody like that. I mean, he had just as many he had essays, he had Kid Frost on the label, he had Blood of Abraham, that was a Jewish group. He had Above the Law. They were from Pomona. I think they might have been from the Red Team. I'm not sure. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And it was about the music for him. He essays. I met with a buddy of mine yesterday, Latino brother yesterday. We was hanging out and we were talking about how I told him I can count the times I played for an all black crowd. And it wasn't in California. Most of the time when record crew at the stage, it's like N.W.A. and Eazy E because he had he had a Vato vibe to him. Think about how he dressed. He dressed like a black Vato, okay? With the oversized
Steve, shout out.
Yeah, much love. I see you, Steve. Yeah, so he had a real unique vibe about him that was universal, that nobody else has ever had ever tried to emulate. And he, you know, he showed his love for both sides of the fence, all sides of the tracks.
Yeah, the Latinos definitely loved Eazy, man. How we looking? Is RBX on the line yet, or should we just keep on going?
Not yet. Keep on going for a minute. I told him about 6:15. He should be in any minute. I'm gonna text him, let him know we're ready for him.
Perfect.
But yeah, it was really interesting that when I did that thing, I was telling you, I was at the restaurant. Me and my partner was sitting there kicking it, and the brother walked up to me and gave me a big old dap. Man, Lonzo, that was a great event, man. Much love for Eazy. Whoop, 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 whoop. And he said, man, you know what? The event was so smooth. I saw the nigga that shot me, and I gave the nigga dap and took a picture with him. I said, huh? He said, yeah, man, I saw the nigga that shot me, and I didn't even trip. I know I could have tripped, but I didn't trip. I went on holiday for a minute, and we took a picture together, man. And that right there says a whole lot. Yep. Police was asking me, how in the hell did you get all these arch enemies together under this one umbrella? I said, man, sometimes it ain't who does it, it's what's it for. They can do it. Everybody ain't mad at these, you know. And here's the next thing. Usually, when there is an issue, it's usually what I call the igniter. One guy or girl is usually the igniter. Okay, there's always somebody to kick that spark off, to kick it off. And if that person is not there, everybody else is pretty much cool. Okay, I've experienced it in the club several times. There's certain people within the venue, 9 times out of 10, it was going to be a problem. And if he tried to get things started, if you could chill his ass out, everything would be cool. Not that he's a leader. He's just one of them cats that gets everybody else riled up. Okay, I've seen women turn some of the smaller situations into. I've seen women turn a brush fire into a forest fire just on keeping. Just won't let it go. Just won't let it go. That's you know you got 20 motherfuckers fighting. Real talk.
Yep, that's facts, dude. That's definitely facts. Yeah, I was at the Eazy celebration. I noticed shit, you know. So I'm looking at tattoos, and I'm like, oh, that tattoo doesn't get along with that dude's tattoo over there. But not one situation.
Yeah. So
even when I got there, Lonzo, I ain't gonna lie. I parked somewhere where I parked somewhere where I could get out quickly if I had to. I don't know if you remember, but I parked right by the entrance, and I parked back in because I was like,